Testing your website or app manually every single time logging in, filling forms, clicking buttons gets really boring, doesn't it? That's exactly what Playwright solves. In today's video, we're learning Playwright from scratch, locators, actions, assertions, and by the end, we'll build a real login automation test together. Let's get started. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is Playwright? Playwright is a browser automation library built by Microsoft. It lets you write code that controls a browser, opening a website, filling out a form, clicking a button, and checking whether the right content is showing up on the page. Its biggest use case is testing. For example, checking that your website's login flow actually works without having to manually test it every single time. But it's not just testing, you can also use Playwright to automate repetitive tasks like scraping data or repeatedly filling out a form. What makes Playwright stand out is that it works across Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, WebKit, all three major browsers using the same script. Let's go ahead and install Playwright. Create a new folder, open your terminal, and run npm init playwright at latest. This command will ask you a few basic questions: which language you want, JavaScript or TypeScript, and which browsers to install. You can just skip the defaults and press enter through them. Let's write our very first Playwright script. We'll just open a browser, go to a website and print its title. Inside the test folder, create a new file called firsttest.spec.js and import test and expect from Playwright. Now let's understand locators. When we want to interact with a button, an input field, or some text on the browser, we first need to locate it, that is, tell Playwright exactly where that element is on the page. Playwright's locators are quite smart. You can locate an element by its text, by its role, like button, or by a test ID. The best way is to use getByRole and getByText because these find elements the same way a real user would. Now that we know how to locate an element, we can perform actions on it like clicking, typing text, selecting an option from a drop-down, or checking a checkbox. Let's look at a practical example. We'll type something into the search box on Playwright's website and open the search results. Let's talk about assertions. An assertion is basically a check like this button should be visible or this text should appear on the page. If the assertion fails, the test fails, and that's how we know something's gone wrong. There's another powerful feature here, auto waiting. With older automation tools, you'd have to manually add waits, pause for 2 seconds, then click. Playwright automatically waits until an element is actually ready, visible, enabled before performing the action. This makes tests far more reliable and a lot less flaky. Let's bring everything together and build a real-world style test. A login flow automation. We'll use a demo login page, fill in a username and password, click the login button, and check that we've actually landed on the logged in page. This is exactly the pattern used in real projects, whether it's QA testing or automating some repetitive admin task. Here's a really handy feature, Playwright's Codegen tool. You don't even need to write the code yourself, just click, type and navigate in the browser and Playwright will generate the code for you. The command is npx playwright codegen followed by a website URL. This opens two windows, the actual browser and a code inspector panel. Whatever you do in the browser gets automatically written as code alongside it. One last concept to understand, headless versus headed mode. When we are writing and debugging tests, we often use headed mode, which shows the actual browser so we can see exactly what's happening. But when tests run automatically, say in a CI/CD pipeline or on a server, we use headless mode where the browser runs in the background without any visible window. It's faster and uses fewer resources on the server. Playwright actually runs in headless mode by default. So today we covered what Playwright is, how locators and actions work, what assertions and auto waiting mean, and we built a real login automation test together along with the Codegen tool. If you found this video helpful, do hit that like button, and if you'd like more practical automation and testing tutorials, subscribe to Snippet Coder. Let me know in the comments what you'd like next, API testing with Playwright or CI/CD integration. See you in the next video. Happy coding!